Hey guys, Shannon here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make homemade lip balm. Super easy to do, don't be scared. It's a few simple steps, simple ingredients, and you're going to have really high quality, really nice lip balm. So you're going to want to set up a double boiler. And what a double boiler is, what I do is just, it's a pot on the bottom where I am boiling some water, and then an empty pot kind of sits into that, as you can see. Alright guys, so the first step is if you're using a block of wax like I use, you're actually going to have to grate the wax. You want your wax to be looking like little pellets, like that. If you use the store-bought wax, you can get wax in a block, but you can also buy it, that, you know, chipped like this, so that would save you a little time, a little energy. Okay, so now that we have our wax all grated, you see I've got about a quarter cup of my wax here. We're gonna start with the shea butter. Now what I do with my lip balms is I use about a 1-to-1 ratio, roughly, of shea butter to beeswax. But we're gonna go and take a bit of shea butter and add that right to my double boiler. And you can see it's already starting to melt just as we put it in there. And now that the shea butter is melted, I'm going to add my beeswax. And you can see the beeswax starts to just nicely melt into the shea butter. Alright, now it's time to add the flavoring oils, and this is what's going to give your lip balm its signature smell and taste and everything. Even though the beeswax has its own honey aroma, it doesn't have a lot of the sweetness of a honey. And if you put honey into your lip balm, it's not going to incorporate very well. The reason being is, you know, bees want to keep their honey separate from their wax, so it's difficult to get honey to incorporate into the wax, if that makes sense. So I actually use this. I don't know if you can see that. So that's Sweet Cakes, makes a good sweetener, and it's all natural. I use just a couple drops of that just to give the lip balm a little taste. So this is just a little natural sweetener. And you could measure and be all precise, but I normally just give it a couple drops like that. Same thing with my flavor oil. You don't want to go too crazy with this. This is strong stuff. Couple drops. And let's mix that in really well. And last but not least, a little vitamin E oil. You know, just a couple drops. That's all you need. Okay, and what I do after I have all the ingredients melted together is I actually take this off the heat. Okay, now it's been about 10 minutes. And you can see I've let this harden. If I were to go and touch this, it's cool and hard to touch. I'm actually going to bring it back to the double boiler, put it right back in there, and let this baby melt. The reason I do this, a double melt method, is I find that the lip sweetener and the flavor oil just incorporates a little bit better for me when I do it this way. And as this is melting, you can just kind of stir it just a little bit. Now this is important. We're about ready to pour our lip balm. You want to make sure you have the containers ready. You don't want to start fussing with containers now that everything's all melted and ready to go, because it's going to get cray-cray. If you can see this, you can buy empty chapstick containers, if you see that right there. And if you don't want, you know, an actual chapstick container that you roll up, you can easily buy little pots like this, and you just fill them up. That's probably the easiest way to do it, especially if this is your first time, is, you know, pour the the lip balm into a pot, let it sit, and then it's going to be a finger dip and apply. All right, so here we go. Give it one last stir. Take it off the heat. And then, hopefully you can see this pretty well. I'm gonna just go, oops. And we're gonna fill our things up. Try not to spill like me. All right, and last but not least, I've already done this, but you're gonna take your scraper and just scrape the top of the wax off of there, and that'll give you a nice flat, you know, top for your lip balms. And now these are already starting to harden up, as you can see, and we're just gonna let this sit. All right, so there's all the lip balms, all hardened up, and I've taken one out. There you go. It could not be any easier, right? And the quality of product that you get, oh, this is the best. And this is gonna last. I have balms that I made last summer, a year ago, that are still perfect. They're still fine. And they make great gifts. So yeah, think of others when you're doing this. And for more information about just what we do, gardening and making things and all that, check out www.sherwoodtaylor.com. Thanks, guys.